Just gotta focus on yourself out here, y'all. Don't pay too much to the competition. Don't worry about what other people doing. You gotta trust your process. Worry about yourself, like I'm saying, man. It's bigger than me, bigger than you. You know what I mean? If you know what you gotta do, then do it. You always making excuses when you got time for no excuses. You gotta get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't about that negativity, suggestions. Fuck all that shit, my nigga. Yeah.
No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. And you niggas mad as shit. But it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. And you niggas mad as shit. But it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. Yeah. Still watching for clones, but they all over the globe. Probably why I say whoa. Young nigga never made money from stoves, but went hard with the zones. Me and Henny broke it down way before. Now we killing shows, just act like you know. Whoa. Got a new bitch from the bottom. Still never change out my niggas from potters. Honest, I've been feeling golly. You get in my way, then you leave me no option. Niggas thinking this a race, till we put them in their place. Leave their family with a ghost, then we pull off in a race. Competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit. But it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit. But it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you.
It's no competition. You niggas be lying about how you be feeling, saying you Jordan, you not even Pippen. Or Rodman when he was with Pistons. You blondie, you lying about all of your visions. Your paper be short like some midgets. I used to step out and just worry about digits, and now I just focus my visions. I had to distance myself from some people cause they just be holding you back. I wasted some time I never get back. Like why I do that? You niggas be bitching, it's just to be seen and put on the map. I only know some niggas who know how to spin up a check and get it right back.
No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit. But it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell the homies stop gassing you before we pull up in.
It's no competition. Welcome everybody to another edition of The Blackout. I am your host with the most from the East Coast, and I am joined by the myth, the man, the legend, all of that himself, the real killer, Uncle Bobby. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, my man. How about you?
I'm doing great, man, because this is going to be a fun one. Now, I got to be honest with you. As a precaution, because when I tell you we're going to get all in the dog doo-doo today, so you're going to need to take a drink. Cheers.
Oh,
you're going to need a drink. Yeah. Whatever substances you have available to you, consume them.
I figured with today's subject matter, it was going to be an infuriating show. The person that we're talking about is absolutely allergic to honesty.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have, again, in all my time on the internet, on YouTube, this is hands down in the top 3 ugliest people I have ever had the displeasure of meeting. I truly believe that social media would be made better if people like him dropped their accounts.
Oh yeah, he's
that was just gross.
He's 100% delete your channel type of apologist.
Oh,
now he's also allergic to taste, good music, flow, visual aesthetics, lyrics. I mean, but look, let's jump into it because I made a whole playlist of KDUBTRU music.
Oh, dude, this is gonna hurt, isn't it?
It is. All right, now the first thing we're gonna start with is it's sort of like his theme song. I've sequenced this in a very particular order. All right, so this is kind of like his theme song for his channel. So this is the song. If y'all new to KDUBTRU, you got to hear this. All right, here we go. It's called Clean. Crazy.
Christ clean me up. Christ clean me up. I ain't got a stain and I'm feeling brand new. Yeah. Christ clean me up.
So you've heard this before, right?
I ain't got a stain and I'm feeling brand new. Listen, I ain't got a stain on me, cause it's all by his grace, homie. His righteousness and I'm
Pause the tape. Jesus Christ. Okay. This is going to be painful. Just so you guys know, I'm not getting paid to do this. This is going to take years off my life. Now, these are definitely the words of an old fucker. When I hear the word rap, I think Sugar Hill Gang. I think Fab Five Freddy. I think X-Clan. I think Fat Boys. I think Run DMC. I think Houdini. This is going to hurt if for no other reason. Holy shit. I'm going to sit here and review today's rap music. But worse than that, I have to review the rap music put out by the human ham hock, K-Dub, whatever the fuck his name is.
KDUBTRU, baby.
Okay, K-Dub sucks. His music is already awful. And I still wonder, as a former Christian, do Christians not hear the words? You remember how much we used to sing Amazing Grace?
Right.
But then you sit here and you listen to the words. It's Amazing Grace. By the way, I'm a hot steam Impala monkey shit.
Right, save the rich.
I'm a wretch. Yeah, and that you're sitting here looking at this, clean me up. I'm filthy. I'm gross. Again, the best part about Christianity, it requires no commitment. If you actually raised your kids like this, CPS would snatch your fucking kids away from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm horrible. Come clean me up. I got all these stains on me. I'm going to get fucked up for this one.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Now, the fortunate thing is, they're not too long, right? So we only got a couple minutes, but man, it's going to be, I got a whole playlist of them.
Learning, but I still got it, Not by my works. Now I'm in his church. Ain't nothing I can learn. Did it by his own. Yeah, I didn't deserve. Now I'm singing out. Christ clean me up. Christ clean me up. I ain't got a stain and I'm feeling brand new. Christ clean me up. Christ clean me up. I ain't got a stain and I'm feeling brand new. Christ
Is there more?
me
Oh,
up.
I don't think, is there another
Christ
verse? Oh, nice little reverb. Is there a second verse? Here comes the second verse. It's gotta be second verse.
Christ clean me.
Okay, stop. Holy shit. How long did it take to write this fucking song? Okay, Christ clean me up. What's the next one? Christ clean me up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, my goodness.
And again, here's the old guy talking. Again, I'm sure I know my parents said the same thing when I was listening to music when I was a kid. But again, oh shit. Again, it's that hyper computerized, overproduced, and there's always that It's like, are you singing? Are you busting a nut?
Right.
Give me a break and get some new lyrics.
And
okay.
And it's also like there's no, like, the structuring here is just all weird. Like, there's no, first, second, and third verse. Like, where's the bridge? But what I do find interesting is that these lyric videos are kind of a thing, right? So he's into this, right? He's into this. He makes music videos. He makes lyric videos to go with his songs. Like. I would wonder what he would say if you asked him about sort of where he sees his music fitting into his thing. But it's very clear, like, he's on this tip, right? Like he sees his apologetics and his music all in like a bundle. Just ridiculous.
Well, then he would ask you, by what objective standard do you have to call my music bad?
Right. Oh, man.
I am currently not a fan. Let me guess. Is it Christ Clean Me Up? I'm taking a stab here. I'm not sure what the title of this song is.
Clean.
So far, not a fan.
Not a fan.
Let's see
if there's another verse here.
Got a stain and I'm feeling brand new,
Let me guess. Christ Clean Me Up. Wait for it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, here it is.
My goodness, it's unworthiness, but now I'm feeling
Hold on, rewind that. Rewind that.
He was headed to hell. Yep, he was headed to hell.
I want to see it. Fuck.
I was headed to hell. I was a mess. My goodness, it's unworthiness, but now I'm feeling brand new. I ain't worried about it.
Pause that tape. Through all the jokes, I want everyone to hear what this fuck knuckle just said. And that truly bothers me, even for someone as odious as Chris. I get it. One of the foundational pillars of Christianity is that you were born so terrible that you deserve to get hurt. Unless, of course, you die as an infant, then you get to go straight to heaven, because we're all born guilty sinners except for infants. But just listen, that lyric. I'm unworthy. I'm shit. I was headed to hell where I was going to get hurt. Then you don't accept grace, boys and girls. You accept extortion. If I tell you, the person who's going to kick your ass is also giving you a way out from that's not grace.
Right. Absolutely.
That is not grace. Again, if you do not bring me a bottle of Hendrix, I'm going to hurt you. Now, I don't hurt you because you bought me the bottle of Hendrix. Does that make me benevolent? That makes me a fucking asshole. Why don't I just not hurt you?
Absolutely.
It's just really that simple. This God is all powerful. There's nothing impossible for him, except he can't circumvent the rules that he created. Why not just, we all go to heaven and party?
Exactly. No. So before we go, can you tell us again the 4 hallmarks of battered spouse?
Battered spouse. Let me see. The irrational belief that the pain being upon you is your own fault. The irrational belief that your oppressor is omnipresent. The irrational belief that your oppressor will get to those that you love. And the irrational belief that basically you ain't shit. It's that you raggedy bitch, where are you going to go if not here? Who's going to want you? It's when you find your self-worth in your oppressor.
Okay.
So those are your 4 diagnosable criteria.
Wow. Man, I need to make a note of those, because that is what Christianity is. I mean, it's 100%. Textbook. It's textbook.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. It's really, I hope people remember those, because I think we need to use these in our conversations more. So my thing is, what I think you're offering us there, Uncle Bobby, is kind of a new counter-apologetic. Like, I get a little bit, we all know Christians are anti-science. Everything they say about science is wrong. We all know their arguments are bad and all of that stuff. But I'm really focused more on how the hell do we get people out of Christianity? And how do we really bring out the fact that, you know, this is a problem in our culture. Like I see Christianity as a form of hate or at least bigotry. I think being able to speak very clearly and say, no, I don't mean to say you're like an abused spouse. I mean to say you're living as an abused spouse, that you are the hallmark of these things, a textbook case. It's like you say, if anybody else was doing in your life, you'd call protective services. All right, let's see if we can tolerate 30 more seconds of this song.
Oh God.
Got a new mind, got a new heart. Glory to God, who art worthy of all praises by tongue, tribes, and nations. He dressed us in this white robe. His righteousness we now glow. Glory to God and Christ alone. Glory to God and Christ alone. Yeah.
That was terrible.
Objectively bad. Just.
Yes.
Oh, that song.
By my objective standard, that was pretty bad.
The song is a stain and it's feeling brand new.
Pretty much. That song is a sin. That song right there. That's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not make shit music. That was holy crap. Again, on top of the messages being terrible, I did not need that.
Just awful. All right. Yeah. So this next one is a throwback. I actually found that, you know, Chris has been at this for a while. And Chris used to have long hair and dreads. And
holy shit, I want to see that.
Yeah. So let's listen to this terrible. Now this one got a whole music video.
Oh God, 5 minutes long.
Got love for my brothers and sisters who in the true church. They got faith, got good works.
Shot on a
brothers
potato.
And sisters who in the true church. They got faith, got good works. Who enjoy in true fellowship, discipling the brethren. I got love for all them. Don't call them, but let me make a distinction. When I talk about the church, I ain't talking about the building. Yes, I'm talking about his children. And Papa ain't let nobody mess up his pride. They done tried, but they failed long time. Time will tell if you with it and committed to the gospel call. I hope you know enduring to the finish. We got a church that's physical. The church is invisible. Always staying biblical. Let me make a statement that's critical. Don't forsake the gathering of the body. That's disobedience. You need the body.
Off the tape. Okay. One, I could have sworn I heard him once say that he was from Louisiana. I'm now ashamed to share that in common with this dude.
Wow, yeah.
But what scares me about this music, other than I actually don't like it, whether I would have met this dude or not, I would. If we were at a party and this shit was playing, I'd walk to the DJ station. It's like, if you don't play some fucking Temptations, some Edwin K. Starr, some Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, I'm going to punch you. I'm going to slap this fucking music up. This is ridiculous. But what kills me is that every time I look up, every 30 seconds, he's around a crowd of people. And that's what scares me. Is that people listen to what this dude has to say and then they write that shit down.
Matter of fact,
people were in the side chat listening to him just speak over me. He invited an atheist on his channel. Oh, that wasn't a debate. That was an interrogation.
Yeah.
He asked an atheist about atheism and then muted my mic so I could not tell him what atheism was. At the very end, he read me the gospel like I hadn't heard that shit. He literally, word for word, what is your response, sir? I didn't get 2 sentences out before he cut me off to tell me what my response was. All these frames have got people in it.
Right.
These people listen to what this guy has to say.
Yeah, and I can tell you,
we are surrounded by people who think that this fucker has got the mods. You guys need to be afraid.
Yeah,
you need to be afraid.
And I was in a full confession. I used to work at a church, and I was in a rap group. Now, we weren't a Christian rap group. What I mean by that is we didn't rap about religion, but we worked at a church and we were youth leaders, so our raps were clean. It was like some Will Smith shit. And I remember sort of the fun that the community has getting involved in it. And so to your point, not only were our people listening to him, but people were involved in this video, right? He has the girls all sitting there. There's another scene. He's got, a congregation listening to him. So they celebrated this, right? They had a young black man come in their church, and he wants to use hip hop for the Lord and all of this. And they were, this is great. Oh, Chris,
Absolutely.
this is wonderful. Oh, we're so glad you're rapping for the glory of God, and yeah, it's just it's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a total mess. This motherfucker.
Yeah, look, y'all. We're in a special Discord.
We're in hell. Hell, save me.
We're in a new VIP patron and mod only Discord where we'll do our movie nights and stuff for our patrons, and so we're checking it out. So yeah, like Uncle Bobby said, we're not getting paid to do this. So please join Uncle Bobby's Patreon. You can join my Patreon. You could show us some support for sitting through this. All right, let's roll some tape. Oh my goodness.
And since he died for the church, I'm trying to be with the church, encouraging the church. We gather to the church, 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 the church. It's beautiful, yeah, bad. We deeper than the bad. The invisible, invincible, a dead man, he raised them. The church, 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 the church. It's beautiful, yeah, bad. We deeper than the bad. The invisible, invincible, a dead man, he raised them. You don't love God if you don't love this church. You don't love God if you don't got no works. She might not be so fine, but the end of the day, that's his bride. I ain't lying to you. Many people trying to attack the church. That's so foolish though. You messing with an army well suited, bro.
No!
And if you messing with God's people, he destroyed all evil. Yes, you ain't gonna like the sequel, And you don't want the problems.
Pause the tape. Did you guys catch that?
The gun chat?
No, you're not going to like the sequel. Again, I will always hang my hat on the concept of hell. Christians, you do not get to tell me I don't give a fuck about, you can lick my dirty booty hole with your objective shit. Literally your shit. Any proposition that ends, any relationship proposition, if anywhere in that equation is pain, you are in an abusive relationship.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to like the sequel. Translation, you're going to go to hell. Bitch. I could have sworn I said Hendrix.
And 3 ice cubes.
3 ice cubes. Bitch, this is Hadley's with 4 ice cubes. Now, someone's actually going to get whipped, and it's not going to be mine. There's only 2 people in this house. You do the math. If I treated someone like that, you guys would rightfully call the police on me.
Absolutely.
You are worshiping Christians. You are worshiping Ike Turner. I mean, you're not going to like the sequel. Wait till your father gets home. Meet me at the flagpole, 3 p.m. Basically, I'm just going to beat you up.
Yeah, that gun shot killed me.
Holy shit.
Satan's little helper. Good to see you. Good to see you, Holy Shift. The other thing is, one thing I want to acknowledge about Chris, and I'm sure you would be happy to speak to, he's about the smoke. He wants it. He is that debate me, bro, come at me, Christian, chest pounding. He's all about that. All about it.
He's all about it, but yet he will not give me another chance to talk to him. He's all about debate as long as he gets to control the game board.
Absolutely.
Because again, I don't care about objective anymore. And I told his monkey ass. And I'm quite sure to everyone else, as long as they want to talk about objective, subjective, blah, 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 blah. Let's have a debate. Let's go line by motherfucking line so I can show you where you lied. I even slap the receipts out on the game table. Oh, I'm not going to talk about our interview. Chris, you used my fucking face as the advertisement.
Yeah, he just lied to you.
Yeah, and I posted it. I absolutely posted that shit. Oh, no. It's not about you. It's not about our talk. No, okay, it's a condensed version of our talk. Right? And again, I was like, you think I'm bullshitting? I put that shit out on wax. It's on the show.
Yeah, we watched it. Yeah, we watched it.
Yeah, and so it's just like, yeah, he's all about that smoke until someone wants to smoke back.
Exactly.
Right?
100%.
Again,
100%.
Let's talk. Fuckface, because I know you're going to see it. Let's talk about all these lies. So I can objectively show your monkey ass what a dishonest sack of shit you are.
Absolutely. And literally lied to your face. To my face. 100%.
And you ain't got them dollars. Yes. To buy in his church is by faith alone, but true faith, it also got the works. Centuries they'll attack it. It's funny, we keep growing, nothing more they keep attacking, cause Christ is who my hope in. And since he died for the church, I'm trying to be with the church, encouraging the church. We gather to the church, 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 the church. It's beautiful, yeah, baby. We deeper than the dead, the invisible, invincible, a dead man, he raised them. The church, the church, the church, the church, the church, the church, the church.
Love the church.
It's beautiful, yeah, baby.
It's crazy. Beautiful, yeah, bad man.
Again, the fucked up thing is all the word games, regardless of style of apologetics, people like you and me, you're a fucking scientist, my dude. When you stand up and say, yeah, when you're dead, you're dead. You're just gone. That's it. You're dead. And when we stand up and we say, no, a dead man did not raise from the grave. Now all of a sudden, you got the burden to prove. Like the burden to prove? Fuckface, when you die, you die. When you sit, it's like, a teenage girl, she got pregnant with no dick. Now again, you're the fucking scientist. So when someone like you says, you need dick to get that, that's how this works. Yeah. Right? Well, Dr. J. Bundy, pizza sleeps fast under the West, therefore the right. I mean, just think about what we're up against. When we make common sense, scientifically based claims, right? We're the assholes. And now we have to go through their word meat grinder to prove to them that a dude that was murdered stayed dead.
Yeah. So my mom has a medical condition that was diagnosed. I don't even forget what it is, but it was diagnosed when she was a teenager, and it's like a rare condition, and you test for it in some weird way. And what ended up happening was she went to the hospital. She wasn't feeling well or whatever, and I guess they did some blood work or whatever, and they came back and they told her she was pregnant. And my mom lost her shit, like, no, I can't be pregnant, no. So she ends up calling my grandfather to come down. Look, they're trying to tell me I'm pregnant. There's no way I was pregnant. I haven't been with anybody, blah, blah, blah. So, eventually, my grandfather comes there, sticks up for her. They eventually run some additional tests, and they figure out she's got this medical condition. Now, what's funny is my mom's a Christian. So she told me this story, and I'm like, you don't see the irony that you were able to know. Like, hell no, I don't even care what that test says, right? She said she got a test, a medical result, and she's like, I don't give a fuck what that medical result says, because I know I can't be pregnant. I ain't been with a man. She's a 15-year-old girl, right? Yeah. So, but she'll swallow the biblical narrative. And you're like,
wait, say that again, you broke up.
But then she'll swallow the biblical narrative. And I'm like, that's the epitome of cognitive dissonance. You've had your own lived experience about this. Like most women can't tell you if a doctor's ever, you've had your own lived experience. You go, hell no way, right? But they got to buy it about the Jesus narrative. It's
oh yeah. Again, it takes no commitment.
None.
It takes no commitment. Because when you actually have to put rubber to the road, when you actually have to put your money where your mouth is, you don't buy it.
Right.
Do not believe that a pregnant teenager gave birth to a baby with magic powers.
Right. She never thought maybe this is God's second son. Yeah. Maybe the angel has descended to come over me and I'm about to give birth to the next Jesus. Or no, it was just, nope, sorry, the universe doesn't work that way.
Real time example right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's roll some tape.
Is one body, it's full of different members. So I'm praying when you hear this, it can fix you, come a member to your local church, homie, urging you to serve. Better get in your word, unless you will swerve. It'll only be a matter of time before you go back. If you ain't with this body and discipleship you lack. And yes, I need my brothers to encourage me on my walk. If I start to get off, yes, they point me to the cross. But it's more than one time or one weekly meeting. We daily devoting ourselves to the Bible's teachings. We preaching, we also getting this message out. You can catch us on the block, you can see what we about.
Sometimes.
Okay, pause the tape.
And the narrative world.
Okay, if that clip was real, true, of course he's a fucking street preacher. The most annoying fuck faces on the planet. And when you tell people like that, hey, could you just keep it down? I literally just came to the boardwalk to chill, right? And they got their fucking megaphones. The Christians that were knocking on the doors just yesterday in my neighborhood. Again, I can't stop you Christians. None of us can. But you don't get to street preach. You don't get to knock on people's doors. You don't get to wait for us outside the grocery store. And when we tell you to shut the fuck up, you don't get to scream persecution.
Absolutely.
It's called feedback. And I was listening to a clip this morning while I was doing some work. And of course, why don't atheists ever go after Muslims? Y'all are afraid of them. No, Muslims leave us the fuck alone. I have never been interrupted during dinner and said, have you heard the good word about Allah? But that has happened about the Christian Jesus. So again, the fact that he wears the megaphone and bothers people, harasses people, of course he does. Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Jesus.
But then again, it's like he sees you as the vile, angry atheist who, it's shout out to my main man, James Apperson. He was, also links in the description. He was talking even earlier today about how, they really do want the end of the world. They do bring that about. Like that's what they're, so even Christopher Hitchens was sort of asked, like, if you don't believe in this God, then, why has this become your main thing? Like, why spend the rest of your time trying to convince people that this God isn't true? Yep. And he's like, well, especially since, 9/11, this has become his main political thing because of the impact it's having on the world around us. And I think that that's what motivated me. Like, I sat here and saw the church's response to COVID, and I just thought, that's it, I'm done. It's too much. It's gone too far. We were ushering death, right? They were literally like, hey, churches are mass spreader events or whatever, and churches like, they can't persecute you, we need to have choir practice, we need to bury our dead. Like it was just awful. You just realize y'all don't care. Y'all are the enemies.
I remember that one. That was Hitchens versus fuckface Frank Turk. And I remember the dude who asked him the question. He looked mad than a motherfucker. He did. Right? It's like, then why do you do it? Why do you do it? And Hitchens' answer was the most phenomenal. I mean, I think all of us atheists have jerked off to that at least twice in our life. And it was like, And remember the part where he said, we love death more than you love life? You remember that portion?
Wow.
And it was like, look that shit back up. He did. I don't think it was specifically about Christianity.
Right.
But this is why I do it. And it was like, he was talking about not all of our Muslim brothers and sisters, but the ones that are on that tip. It's like it is. We love death more than you love life. Christians, some of you are the exact same way. You're so desperate to protect the unborn that you bomb Planned Parenthoods. Right. You take the life of doctors who provide abortions. So it's like, how do you fight that? They love death more than we love life.
Absolutely. 100%. And I feel like because of that, I never really learned how to cope with death. And as I see my family aging, it feels like the later stages of life are like literally death's waiting room. Everything is this weight. Like I can feel this with my grandparents. It's like this weight of waiting to die, right? There's not like this celebration of life and growing and changing and evolving. You know, it's really just it's hang on to these, clutch these pearls until the maker calls you.
Pretty much. I mean, well, it's having just gone through it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The later years of life, you're just literally like, oh shit, I can't believe I woke up again. Right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. But there's a date that is unavoidable. It is the fate of all biological organisms, and that is one day we will cease to become biological organisms. And yeah, I totally get how that day can be daunting. It can be dark, it can be sad, it can be depressing, or if you're like me, you're like, that just happened.
Right.
But instead, the way I deal with it, instead of focusing on the one day, focus on the tens of thousands, and even in your 70s.
Wow.
You're just like, okay, what do I got left? 400 days?
Right.
Live every single day. Just pump it all in.
Right.
Pack as much life into this life as you possibly can. And if you want to be remembered, do something that's worth remembering.
100%. 100%.
Right? Because I mean, this fuckface at the very end of our debate, when asked, where's your standard? It's like, me. Well, who cares? Robert Reed will one day live and he will die. You're right. You're right. And right before this show, one of the manual labors I did, I've got an elderly neighbor right across the street. With my badass back, I helped her lift some shit. I don't know if she'll remember me. More importantly, I don't care. But it was the right thing to do. Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. Right. But I'm going to pack as much good shit as I can into this life. And I suggest you guys do the same.
100%.
So again, he's right. We're going to live. We're going to die. Fine. Fucking live first.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So well said. Let's roll some of his fucked up ass tape.
Fucked up ass tape.
If you live in Gali.
Give me that mixer a bad name. Give that mixer. That's a good mixer. Don't give Persona a bad name. The church. I got it.
The church is beautiful, yeah, baby. We deeper than the Navy. The invisible, invincible, a dead man, he raised them. The church.
More theological rappers, please.
We deeper than the Navy. The invisible, invincible, a dead man, he raised them.
They were continually devoting themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. These are really, as we're going to see, some very foundational things for a spiritual church to be taking part in. These are foundational marks. These are the means of grace that God has given to His church, and therefore our church as well, for our growth, for our sanctification, and for our joy. And since these are the graces that God provides to His
all right, and then I guess there's just more scriptural stuff. All right, we'll keep it moving. All right, the torture continues. All right, we're gonna skip this one because there's no video. All right, here's
the things we do for you guys.
The things
you guys better say fucking thank you at the end of this show.
All right, so this one, I think he's crapping on the Black Hebrew Israelites. So this is fun because this one we might agree with him on, right? I don't know.
Let's give it a run. This is going to be awful. Pseudo-Israelites. Okay.
There are drugs that cause hallucinations, schizophrenia, manic depression.
These dudes on the corner claim the Israelites, and you are too. If you're not an Edomite, the white man, they use the Bible for their racism. Yeah, they even hate women. And it's about time that we get on this. To expose the false doctrines, they a bunch of hypocrites. Depraved, crazed, man, I know they not saved. Oh, you don't believe me? Check out how they behave. A bunch of guys trying to find identity. It needs to be in Christ, your vocab, we got the remedy. But they eisegete Deuteronomy 28. They actually think it's about the slave trade. This doctrine causes so much destruction to minorities. Consumption only leads into your corruption. I'm patient with them, yo, I love them. So,
I love them. No.
Okay. This is the hard part about this, other than I don't like the music.
It's awful.
He's going to sit and shit on the Black Israelites. As far as I'm concerned, they are both sitting on some bullshit.
Absolutely.
And it's, well, who's faster, the Flash or Quicksilver? So what you don't seem to understand is stop it. When I sit here and I listen to two religious sects going in on it, I'm like, who's stronger, Superman or Highlander? Who's faster, Quicksilver or the fucking Flash? I don't care. Your first step is to prove that the bullshit that you're saying is actually true. And you know what? The Black Israelites, they've got scriptural backing. The Muslims, they've got scriptural backing. The Christians, they've got scriptural backing. The Jews, everyone has got a book to tell you that they are right. And so it's just hard to sit here and listen to him talk shit about the Black Israelites. I think they're both just kicking nonsense.
Absolutely.
This is just hard. This one's hard.
This is gonna be hard. But we can find common ground because I'm with you. I'm against all the religions, right? The funny thing about, have you seen the Black Hebrew Israelites on YouTube, like Signetter Studios and?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're all over. Yeah. They're all over the place, and their conversations are buck wild. Like, you know, they're all. I studied under the Most High, who studied under Like, I mean, they've got these whole legacies and everything. It's deep, man. It's deep.
No, that I've seen them before. I've seen the Fruit of Islam used to preach right outside the UT campus. It's very riveting. They're very moving. I don't believe a word they fucking say, but they're very dynamic.
Also,
absolutely,
they are because they've got that. They got a little flavor to the way they do everything. And the other thing that's interesting is it reminds me almost of like the KKK, to where they could spin you their narrative to where it's just all black power. Hey brother, sister, peace and black power, you know, and it did because I didn't know who they were at first, right? So it did take me a minute to kind of realize how racist a lot of what they're about is. So I'm with KB on that. Although it's interesting because he carrying water for the racist religion too, right? Like,
oh yeah,
he's basically throwing the Black Hebrew Israelites under the bus for betraying white people, and it's like, okay, like,
pot, have I introduced you to kettle yet? Oh yeah,
yeah, exactly. All right, let's get a little more of this garbage.
Let's roll the shade.
Trusting in the law, then you're doomed, cause God's holiness will have you totally consumed. He don't want your best, he wants perfection. Trust in Christ alone, not in your complexion. From your heart determines if you're true Israelite. Not your melanin, a nation, y'all, let's get it right. Don't matter if you're Gentile or Jew. The gospel is a hope, yeah, that can make you new. If you're trusting in the law, then you're doomed, cause God's holiness will have you totally consumed. He don't want your best, he wants perfection. Trust in Christ alone, not in your complexion. From your heart determines if you're true Israelite. Not your melanin, a nation, y'all, let's get it right. Don't matter if you're Gentile or Jew. The gospel is a hope, yeah, that can make you new.
Keep going.
Where should I begin? How about the fact that they believe that Christ sinned? They affirm reincarnation, that he was one Solomon. If Jesus sinned, he's no better than Muhammad then. And if that's not appalling more to criticize, the person and work of Christ they also minimize. They reduce him, caboose him, in scripture they misuse him. Believe they are God too, so I guess they reproduce him. Don't get me started on this false gospel they promote. Faith plus works won't justify any soul. If you think it does, you got a bad view of the law. Cause if you broke one, then you broke in them all. There, doctrine only brings confusion, spiritual delusion. That beliefs are constantly in evolution. Yo, assertions are never proven, always assuming I got the solution. Trust in Christ's perfect substitution. And if you don't, then all of you will perish. Salvation ain't based on the color of your parents. And if your low Christology isn't corrected, you'll see the true God of Israel, not yours expected. Cause he's fully God and he's fully human. This glorious doctrine called the hypostatic union. Jesus came to save man for every tongue, tribe, and nation. Man from all races will thank them and praise him. And if you don't, then all of you will perish. Salvation ain't based on the color of your parents. And if your low Christology isn't corrected, you'll see the true God of Israel, not yours expected. Cause he's fully God and he's fully human. This glorious doctrine called the hypostatic union. Jesus came to save man.
You know what?
Wow, he literally wrapped it in. Yeah, we're done with this one.
Okay, whatever I missed, I'm glad I did. But the whole Trinity thing, he's fully God, he's fully human. And I remember one pastor telling me here in Austin, well, theologians have been studying the Trinity for hundreds of years. We still haven't figured it out. Yeah, you actually have. We all actually have. You just won't say it. It's sitting on some bullshit. I mean, he's fully God, he's fully man. Then I've been told God is Jesus, Jesus is God, and together they make the Holy Ghost.
Right.
But God is not Jesus, Jesus is not God, and together they don't make the Holy Ghost. I've actually heard that more than once. And so for him, again, it's like, this stuff rules the world we live in. I mean, seriously, my dude, you got 2 fucking PhDs.
Can't get away from it.
And some way, somehow, your education has to bump heads against the likes of a fucking Ken Ham.
Seriously.
A dude sat there and said, a giant wooden boat built by 8 people with hundreds of thousands of fucking animals on it. That's how we have the world we have today. And then when you get up and say, like, just so you know, the whole biology thing, I got that. You have to fight for credibility.
Yes.
Right? And it's just like, this fuckface just sat there. God is fully human and he's fully God. Okay, first and foremost, I don't believe in your God, but you understand that doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm fully 6'3", but I'm also a midget.
Right. So he's making...
You can't have them both.
He's making this song about how the Hebrew Israelite doctrines cause confusion because they don't make any sense. But then he rhymes it with God is fully man and human. This is what we call the hypostatic union. Like what? He just it's literally both sides of his mouth in one lyric, right? Like in one lyric, he just y'all don't make any sense, and then and it's the worst. It's the worst. But the funny thing is, this is really like he's really about that life, right? And a little bit of the production notes here, right? He has this tied into like, hey, now click on my video about how the theology of the black Hebrew Israelites is exposed, and I'll shit all over this guy. So, like I said, he really is about presenting himself as about the smoke. Right, like he.
Okay.
I mean,
there are no married bachelors.
Who knows? Maybe he's a hardcore gangster. We don't know about it. Former Crip got jumped in. Who knows? And I don't care because he sounds like the rest of them.
Yes. All right. Now, all right, Uncle Bobby. This next one, though. This next one.
Do I have time to get another drink?
Yeah, go for it. Oh,
just
all right.
how many people are sitting? I want you guys to know this hurts. This hurts.
This is what
I have ruptured my Achilles. I have suffered renal failure. If you have not felt what it feels like to have your body shut down while you're still awake, you don't want any of that.
Damn.
I've survived a divorce. I've buried my mom. This is all secondary. This is the most painful shit. I am sitting here listening to this.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, go get your drink because it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. Y'all know me. I'm all about the sequencing. So we're actually ramping up. Believe it or not.
Terrifying.
We didn't start. We've actually just started with the low level shit, the real low level shit, the real the minor shit. But yeah, it's about to get real crazy.
Yeah, I took down that resume.
My mic sound different as hell today too. But yeah, this is fun. All right, y'all. So one of the things that I really noticed as I'm going through Chris's catalog is kind of what Uncle Bobby talked about. Christians love this stuff, and I don't know what y'all think about this, but we were making a joke the other night. Like there was a pastor who in Rips and Sips, check out Look at the Trees. We watching Look at the Trees video, Rips and Sips. This pastor's phone rings, and he kind of half chuckles about his phone ringing, and I mean, his audience just loses it. Like Richard Pryor or Martin Lawrence has just come down from on high and delivered the most glorious comedy routine ever. Mind you, nothing's happened other than the man's phone rang. That is how I think Christians embrace Christian rap. Now, I used to be a big fan of some Christian rappers like The Truth, and that whole movement. Those were just nasty rappers who were unfortunately caught up in Christianity. But this Chris shit speaks to a real problem in Christian culture where your shit doesn't have to be good, right? It's like they're really bad movies and they're really bad poetry. It's kind of like, as long as that Jesus is in the aesthetic, all of a sudden the aesthetics are good. All right, Uncle Bobby's back. Uncle Bobby, this is going to be... This is about to get all right. This is. I hope you got your drink because this is actually Chris's. Now he uploaded this to his own channel. He put this shit out there. This is his. Get ready for this. His spoken word proposal to his wife.
Oh, dude.
Sitting here pure, all my brothers know about this covenant. Right Right now, some would say we talking, but we be taking walks and doing Bible studies. Best believe it's gonna keep happening when I'm your husband. I'm loving your knowledge, fellas. Fellas, listen. I can testify that she's godly. Sisters, you might want to pay attention, because this girl right here might be able to teach you a little something if you keep watching, because she be deep in the words. Y'all should hear some of our conversations, by the way. She be studying the Puritans. She'll send me a text message early in the morning encouraging me just to get near him. This right here is that Louisiana love. It'll probably get a little hot sauce.
Oh, shit.
But it's still that real thing, see, because I dabbed in the world, I turned green from all the fakes. Now all I'm saying is, I'm tired of the knockoffs. All I want is you. And even when you get a little salty, I'ma treat you like McDonald's. She like, what you mean, cheap? I'm like, no, wait, hold up. I'ma just ba-da-ba-ba-ba, keep loving you. Fast food, stay patient with me, baby. It's a process, because we know we're gonna have them tough times. We both know I ain't perfect, but all I'm saying is being with you is like studying a hypostatic union. Worth it. See, she got me expanding my horizons, doing spoken word for her. Y'all know I'm a rapper, but I'd gladly spice things up like my mama making soul food, and you know I like to eat. Now I know what the Bible means when it says, he who finds a wife, he finds a good thing. I just want to wash your feet. I want to serve you, and at the same time lead you. Oh, praise the Lord when these two sinners will become one. Do you know our first night together praising the Son? I pray we can display the gospel, because I want to be your Ephesians 5 guy, lead you closer to Christ and love you like he does his own bride. But can they fall short of the glory of God. But he's chosen this individual that was built.
Wayne said, I wish I would mention fast food in my proposal.
And just physical. I participated in some kind of Christianized mystical rituals, but now he turned me to a spiritual, renewed dude who is viewed as perfect through the death of the Son. I love you for more than your beauty, girl. Check this out. I'll call you beautiful without your makeup, girl. Because you got what others girls make up. See? Because he chose
wow.
That was smooth. That was smooth.
In jail, one cell, she was headed straight for hell with no bail. Then the Spirit opened up their heart and said, you've got mail. So, after these two people saved, shall display holiness. And y'all know in this, shall we delight in ourselves? We need the church, y'all. So in conclusion, like any good writer must say, I gotta write this up. I've been rude, making a lady wait this whole time. There's so much more I can say, Tanya, but I think it's about that time. Amen. That I get down on one knee. Next Tanya, will you marry me?
All right. Fine. The fuckface proposed to the love of his life. I'm not going to shit on that. I hope they are happy, and whatever the fuck it is they want out of their relationship, I hope they are getting it. Now, that being said, what scares me the most, and I can only assume, because maybe she's in the background saying something totally different. What scares me about what it is I just saw is there is someone that I am strongly assuming is sitting in the background listening to her husband say this fucked up ass shit and saying, way to go, baby, way to go. Now, I've only seen what he's done to me and Nikki. And I can only assume this is how he treats non-believers.
100%.
That means he has a support system.
100%.
Someone is sitting there. You know what this is like?
Hercules. Yeah,
I can say this, and I'm saying this clinically. gang, I'm saying this clinically. Before I became self-defense guy, I was personal trainer guy, and I still hold a current certification to be a personal trainer. It's like 600-pound life. The star of the show is not the person who's super morbidly obese. It's the person that they're in a relationship with. Because when you are 700 pounds at 5'4", you're not very mobile. That means you've got someone going to the store for you, buying microwave pizzas, microwave hot dogs, and fucking queso from a can. Someone is supporting your lethal habit. When I see this, that's what I think. He got off the phone with me and had someone say, like, Hercules. When he sat there, and when I told him, you're going to edit this, I guarantee it, you're going to take a piece and put it on YouTube. You know what he told me? I'm not going to do it. You know what he did the next day? Exactly that. She probably saw when I provided the receipts. I've got Chris's own words that he lied to me. And he said, well, baby, he doesn't have an objective standard to call that wrong. Right. You know what she probably said? You're right. I'm not going to shit. Yeah, I'm not going to shit on their marriage. I'm not going to shit on his proposal. Whatever they want out of their life, I hope they get.
You know what, Bobby? I hope she didn't see the interview, because if she sat there and when he started talking about rape and you said, I don't do this, I don't want to talk about this because I do this for a living, and he said you rape people for a living, what did she say? That was a good one? Oh, you got him there, babe. That was a good, like, to me, like, if she didn't walk out the room in shame and she heard, I hope she wasn't listening, because I couldn't stay. I have a hard time with a man right. That's your man. Like, I don't care what type of woman you got. If you got a woman, any woman, she should be no. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a bad one.
I've said this during my show in 1995. My senior year, they did interviews after summer camp. Each practice, the nighttime practice, they would pick a senior and do a senior spotlight. It was my turn. And I will never say it out loud ever again. But I made a joke. That joke, the funny part was what I said was so not like me. It would be like if I made a joke that said, I'm not going to feed Buddy. I'm not going to care about that dog. Right, you just left. You know better. Right. I made a joke about something that was so not Robert Reed. That was the joke. It wasn't funny. It was a misogynistic, and I played on something I should not have played upon. Now, the next day, the reporter came out and did what reporters do. We here at Channel 7 News hate Robert Reed. He's a horrible person. We hope he dies in a horrible... They completely separated themselves from me. And they should have. I got a 2-week media ban. I was dating someone at the time. This was when you played football in school? It was. My mother said something, and I talked to my then girlfriend, and she said, that wasn't funny. And you know what I said? I'm sorry. So much, in fact, when the show's over, I'll tell you what I said. I apologized. I acknowledged my fuck up, and I worked my ass off to make it right. I did. I wonder, did she put him through the same meat grinder? Again, for all the shit that I talk, I openly say I have fucked up in this world. Right. But your mistakes do not have to define you. Right. You fuck up, you acknowledge your fuck up, then you work to make it right.
Yeah, even Chris.
And I wonder, did he have to work to make it right? You rape people professionally? You're married to a woman.
Right. She should have been, no, that wasn't right. You're to your point. Right. That's not funny. That ain't quip. That ain't, yeah. And to your other point, this is the one, positive I would have with Chris is I used to be, I don't think I was ever that bad, but I used to be, of a similar tip, attending similar churches with similar ideas swimming around in my head, and it doesn't have to define you. He can switch it up. He can switch it up and be out here like the rest of us, former believers, ex-gens and ex-evangelicals, whatever they want to call us. But it brings up something I really kind of wanted to mention, which is we're having a lot of conversations about race, and eventually I said we don't put enough emphasis on the wives of KKK members, because you may not have been out there burning a cross, but if you made sure his beef stew was hot before he left, and then, lay down in the bed with him and spread, how'd the cross burning go? Oh, great, let's make love and go to bed. You're every bit as responsible for this weaponized nonsense. And I think that's your point about the support system and everybody coming around and rallying around people like this. Yeah, you're the reason they're not improving.
And believe it or not, be it the Klan wife, be it his wife, and I'm making assumptions here. I could be dead wrong.
Sure.
But behind every simple answer, there's a very layered explanation. Like in the case of the Klan wife. For the 10 that, did you hang a black dude? Nothing turned, or that dude got the world's greatest blowjob that night. Right. But for every 10, there's that one who hates what her husband does, is seeing how fucked up this lifestyle choice is, wants to get out, but doesn't know how to get out.
Sure.
We've got, God, what was it? There was a support group for evangelicals who want to get out, but don't know how to.
Wow.
And it was like, and the dude was like, you're a faggot, you're going to go to hell. Blah, 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 blah. I can't believe I just said that bullshit.
Right.
But it's like, it's the only life you've ever known. Again, I don't know Chris. I don't know his wife.
Right.
But I'm allowing for that 1 out of every 2,000 chance.
Right.
That, Chris, this is what I do for a living. I know what I'm talking about. You rape people for a living? Okay. Husband, I still love you. But just so you know.
That wasn't funny. Yeah.
That was fucked up.
That was real fucked up.
That was fucked up. Yeah, so I'm not going to bash this video. I hope they are happy. The world is better with happy people. But it scares me that he has a support system.
Yeah, it does. As somebody who's never had a conversation with Chris, I thought the shit was hilariously cringe. I thought it was hilariously church cringe. You got all the music playing in the back. It was just that scene, but it was sweet, right? This isn't like his worst moment. This isn't, but but if you're a bad rapper and you go with a spoken word proposal and you put it on the internet, what do you want from me? I'm only human, man. I couldn't resist this. I couldn't resist.
If you put it out there, it is free
for
criticism.
It's free,
just like my stuff is. Oh, what is womb?
Oh yeah, we're getting into the ones you're gonna really. Now we're warming up here. Oh yeah, I told you it was gonna get worse. Now we're getting to the good part. This the new shit.
I don't think
this the updated Chris rap.
Be eligible for an abortion. I think all situations should allow for this.
Unashamed about the pro-life. Yes, I don't think babes deserve the long knife. It don't matter if you say, hey, it's the wrong time. Not considered human because you say they on the wrong side. It's fascinating. The arguments be master Satan. You being promiscuous, your solution is assassination. I'm exasperated.
Pause the tape. He can go fuck himself. That assumption, you were promiscuous, so now it's assassinate. Stop it.
Yes, 100%, 100% unreasonable.
That's an assumption, and that is painting a picture that paints a fucking narrative. At the end, that's why I did it. I would say go back and look at the game tape, but don't. Please notice how I didn't speak on it. But he was like, what about abortion? I was like, it's not my call.
Right.
That's all I said.
Yeah. If you want one, get one. If you don't want one, don't get one.
My call. Now again, Susie Q's sex drive.
None of Chris's business.
Exactly. So it's this, well, you were just slutting it out. You got pregnant, so now you want to kill your baby. Even if that's the case.
Right.
Not his call. There's 1,000 reasons why a birthing person wants to get an abortion, and not a single fucking one has got to do with Chris, his rap music, whatever the fuck.
Right.
That part pissed me off because you were promiscuous. No, fuck nuts.
He's blaming the victim.
Keep your Bible out of someone else's vagina. Give me a break.
He is blaming the victims of his oppression for him oppressing them. So I just wanted to mention some of my audience has seen some of the ones we're getting into, but they're sort of they're like his main new ones. Sorry, we got to get Uncle Bobby's reaction to him.
My body, my choice till it's about the vaccination. But that's another topic.
Stop. You dumb piece of shit. My body, my choice. Okay, first of all, stop it. Am I really smarter than this guy?
Yes, very much so.
Holy shit, he's stupid. Pregnancy is not a virus. You don't cough on someone and give them a zygote.
Right.
My body, my choice does not apply to the COVID vaccine, numbnuts. We were trying to put a slowdown on a viral contagion. This pro-life thing, what about your pro-life?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can cough. I don't know how this shit spreads, but you're so pro-life that you are going to not get vaccinated. You're going to... This video sucks.
Absolutely.
That was ugly. First, assuming that people who get abortions are just a promiscuous sluts and whores.
Right.
Now, my body, my choice until it comes to the vaccine. Chris, do me a favor and shut the fuck up. Right. You don't know how this works.
Not at all.
And again, if he's ever set foot in a public school, you followed a vaccine mandate, Chris.
Right. Yes.
There are rules that we all have to follow, and there are consequences when we don't follow the rules. Free will, right? I'm choosing to go to hell, and you're choosing to not be included in the circle of people who've gotten vaccinated.
Yeah, and I actually consider it to be, and this is something that I really actually want to take the opportunity to speak to because it's really deeply affected my personal life. I pretty much live in a bubble due to COVID concerns, right? So I'm deeply impacted by just my lack of comfort in the general public. But setting that aside, like I've had former friends like try to get with me during this pandemic, right? And there's two things that need to be very clear. I'm like one of those people who like being vaccinated is in my dating profile, and I won't talk to somebody who's unvaccinated. And yes, I want to make it very clear, it is a medical situation to me. It's a risk.
Sure.
It is something that is a public health concern, and I think it's really important from a health and safety perspective that everybody's vaccinated and boosted and stays current on them. But the bigger problem that I wouldn't say bigger problem, but just as big of a problem that I don't think people understand. I want to make very, very clear. I think it is an almost unforgivable moral failure. It just shows you don't give a shit about humanity. And the fact that most of these people were not anti-vax until it became politicized, I just find it unconscionable. So what people don't seem to understand is, yes, I take COVID seriously, and if you're unvaccinated, I think you're a danger to yourself and others, and I don't want to be around you. But what they also don't understand is, I think not getting vaccinated is a moral failure. I think you're a bad person. I don't want to be around you because it's like a person who I know lies. Cool. Like, do I think you should burn in hell for lying? No. But do I want you in my life as a known liar? No. I've been guilty of a lot of things that I'm not proud of, okay? But I understand that if I continue to do those things, people would not want me in their life because I was a moral failure. You're not safe for other people to be around. And I think the vaccine, to me, and to speak to what's going on with Chris saying that, you're making a music video that's all about you supposedly taking the moral high ground. That's what they think this is. But then you throw the vaccine effort under the bus, which is fundamentally immoral. Like it's just bad. Like I agree. And again, we're not going to have the conversation, thank goodness, about subjectively or objectively bad. But yeah, it's not just a public health problem. It's a complete moral failure.
But when it comes to, and I remember saying this on my show when the vaccine was all the rage, I never entered the fight, but it's like, because my mom was sick when COVID started, but we didn't know why she was sick. And, someone found an internet article and all this other crap. And I was like, that's fine. But if you're going to hang around me professionally, you're going to wear a mask, and you're goddamn right. I want to see that you were vaccinated.
Yeah.
I can't make you take the vaccine. I can't. But you can't make me hang out with you.
There it is. That's exactly.
And that's what I was trying to tell fuckface Chris.
Yeah.
Everything, again, objectives, it doesn't matter. Everything's got a 5 minutes after. And you're right. You can stand on your morals. You can say that you know more than Dr. Anthony Fauci. Right. You can listen to Trump and dive into. You can do all of that. But you can't make me be your friend.
Right.
You cannot make me teach you self-defense. You cannot make me teach you fitness. You can be unvaccinated. You absolutely can. But you're going to be unvaccinated way the fuck over there. Everything that you do, boys and girls, has a 5 minutes after. And you can sit here and make you anti-vaccinated, baby. You're right, fuck nuts. You're right. And you and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You and all those 16 people can take your monkey ass way the fuck over there.
Yep.
You're not welcome. And when these kids that I'm looking, just like I did, you did, if you went to a public school, they're going to sit there at the beginning of the school year. And they'll be like, Susie, your mumps, your measles, when you don't have it, you're going to say, Susie, get the fuck out. We have been following shot vaccines since forever. Since before my parents were born. This is nothing new.
Wow,
Stop it.
Lena says shopping in person is not a right. It's a privilege that comes with being vaccinated. Getting an abortion is a human right. I completely agree. And I also say, speaking of the morality of it all, I say we missed the lesson to teach the next generations. The lesson we were supposed to teach kids is, hanging out with your friends, shopping at the mall, going to the movie theater, eating at restaurants. All of that is what happens when there's not a pandemic. When there's a pandemic, all of that shit has to stop. So if you want all that shit to come back, you gotta address the pandemic. We totally fucked that up, and we said actually the lesson the kids need to learn is y'all gotta play together. And I just misread Robbins too much, and I can't watch Spider-Man from home. I can't watch Spider-Man from home. It won't even be the same. Won't even be the same story. So, not with it. All right, let's roll some of this fucked up ass tape.
Let's roll the fucked up ass tape.
Saying we should stop it. They being ripped limb from limb, from brim to brim, them from them. Now we singing hymns to him. How wicked and disgusting to cause this disruptions. Removed by dudes with tubes, ended by suctions. We're supposed to be the apple of your eye. But now they're gonna die. Now an infant is getting buried. Yo, the womb was a cemetery. But they ain't getting no obituary. It was.
Again, I can't hear this. Suction, ripping limb from limb, but you're gonna go to hell and be tortured forever, and the worms are gonna eat you, and the pain will never die. And God loves you, but you're gonna get fucked up.
Uncle Bobby gotta make a rap album. You guys loving this like me? We need an Uncle Bobby rap album.
Can you dig it? I can't hear that. You're gonna sit there again. This fuckface did not want me to send my avatar of Luke Cage
because it didn't have a shirt on. It didn't have a shirt on. You tell that story real quick. That's hilarious.
I thought he was. When me and Chris were setting up this police interrogation, he's like, "Could you send me a picture?" I was like, "All right." So I just sent him the Luke Cage avatar from my Twitter profile.
Right.
It's Luke Cage holding on to chains, and it's a muscular black guy wearing jeans, holding on to chains with no shirt. Dead set honest, I chose that avatar because it kind of looks like me.
And you use it for everything else. That's your avatar.
I was like, that's
the avatar you use.
Right. So I was like, there you go, Chris. He said, do you have something with a shirt on? LOL.
Too graphic.
I thought he was joking.
Too graphic.
Okay. Then we went through the bullshit. And at the end of the not debate, he said I was going to go to hell. I was like, well, hold on. Okay. You just said I'm going to go to hell and be tortured forever. Do you think that's moral? Do you think that's okay? You know what he said? Yeah. Wait, a shirtless cartoon? That's what got your goat?
Shirtless cartoon.
Because he said, we've got kids watching this show. But you just said, I'm going to get fucked up. And that's okay for your fucking kids?
Yep, good to go.
You're going to sit here and again, ripping babies limb from limb and the suction. But if you don't believe as I believe, you're going to go to hell and be tortured forever. The worms are going to eat your flesh. God's going to fuck you up. I can't hear that from, if you are living on payday loans, but yet you want to give me financial advice, I can't hear what you say. You don't have the moral high ground when it comes to pro-life, when you didn't get the vaccine. And when you sit here and you tell people like me and Bundy, you're going to be tortured forever.
It's not happening. Also, I just noticed this graphic here, right? It says endabortionnow.com, but then it says clump of cells, and then it's got like baby limb, blood. Like, this is real.
I don't know.
All right, the other thing I want to quickly mention is it's like gore baby parts or something. It's really weird. Yeah, that's what that is. Little baby parts.
Torture porn. That goes right into
the other thing I was gonna say say is that it reminds me of crucifixion torture porn, where they have these sermons, right, where they really act out all of the, and all the gory details of the crucifixion. That's exactly what this reminds me of. And it's funny because this is hard for him. And what I mean by that is, like, a lot of us would make videos where it's like, I'm going to take you to the hood, right? I'm going to show you the streets. And you're going to be rocking with the street niggas at night. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to be hard. And you're trying to show people, like, the dark side of rap. This is the dark side of, the street life. But his is, like, him hanging out with a bunch of church friends, rapping about pro-life. I mean, right? He thinks this is that gangster shit. He put away all that friendly shit, right? This is ridiculous.
For convenience, it wasn't necessary. Could have been adopted. They had options. Wouldn't have cost them. Yo, man, they could have stopped it. Yo, man, they could have stopped it. Yo, they could have stopped.
Pause the tape.
He loves the repetition.
Pause the tape. Again, not your call, Chris. You're right. Susie Q could have carried that pregnancy to term, and she could have put it up for adoption. You're absolutely right. But she chose not to. And her reasons have got nothing to do with you, Chris. Not a goddamn thing. I would like to say, what is so hard about letting people make choices with their own meat? He's right.
Absolutely.
She could have kept that pregnancy to term. She could have done all the things that would have made Chris happy. But you know what? At the end of the day, that birthing person is the only... Please go fuck yourself. This is what live your own life, for you will certainly die your own death. Please continue to please everyone else. And when they're pumping your monkey ass full of formaldehyde, everyone else will be smiling and you're dead.
Yep.
Sitting there and saying, this is what you could have done. That's great, Chris, but it's not you. It's not you. So again, if we don't have to listen to a single second more of this, I would be fine. But I'm finally reading the side chat. Absolutely right, Crystal. Her reasons are her own.
All right, I got two more. I got two more for you. I want you to see. They're even worse. All right, here we go.
It can't be.
Oh, this is one of his new ones. Yeah, I got two more for you. You gotta love them.
Like 20,000%. So there's something that's artificially inflating people to get motivated to transition their sex.
Oh no!
They grooming all the kids. Yeah, I ain't allowed to say it. Disney and Netflix vote, yeah. Hey, they want your kids, I want to smoke. Yeah. They grooming all the kids. Hey, I ain't allowed to say it. Disney and Netflix vote. They want your kids, I want to smoke.
Yeah, sorry.
Chris can officially go fuck himself. And let me tell you all the reason why. This fuckface sat there and he made light out of the incredibly high suicide rate in the transgender fucking community. You don't get to call yourself pro-life, fuckface. You just don't. So for as long as that kid is floating in amniotic fluid, you're save the baby. That baby grows up to be trans. Fuck him. He sat there during our show and he made light out of transgender people hurting themselves. And I said it then, I'm going to say it now. Please go fuck yourself. Christians, that persecution that you think you feel, you don't. If you can live life as someone else for 5 minutes, you wouldn't last 60 seconds. Again, I would like to say, imagine leaving your house and entering a world that hates you, where people make rap songs about how horrible you are. But our trans family members, a good portion of them, don't even have to leave their home to receive that hate.
Absolutely.
Now, I hope I don't get us a strike on this, But as someone who has tried to hurt themselves myself, when every second of your existence blows, let's just say, bam. He made light out of the transgender suicide rate. He's making rap songs about it. And during our show, when he mocked it, he made light. If you don't accept my lifestyle, it's not a lifestyle, fuckface. It's a...
He literally said that.
Calm down.
He said that.
He did. I'm going to calm
that.
down. He's right. Acceptance is key. He made light out of it, and he's making a music video. Chris, you are a hate-filled sack of shit.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying about the wife, right? Is this what your wife supports?
This is, because since Jesus won't come down here, I have to judge your Jesus on his representatives. Chris's Jesus sucks balls. He made light out of the transgender suicide rate. He's making a video about, I'm not allowed to say it. I'm not allowed to say it. While he's making a music
video. He learned that from all the white boys sitting on Fox News talking about they've been canceled in front of millions of people, right? All right, let's try to get through this. I still got one more for you. I got the.
Let's give it a run.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it.
Hey, look,
but didn't I tell you they're going to get worse? You didn't believe me. Be honest. You kind of surprised. You kind of surprised.
Whoever did.
Look, a woman cannot be a man. Hey, they gon' call this some hate speech. Hey, you get banned, you don't rock with the trans.
Pause the tape. Pause the tape. Pause the tape. A virgin can't get pregnant. You dumb fuck face. Snakes don't talk. That's not reality. Some fucking dude come back to life 3 days later. Use the fucking force. Please go fuck yourself. You don't get to talk about reality when you're a fucking Christian.
That's epic. Epic.
Hold on, I think I just fucked up my microphone.
You're good.
But now I'm back.
All right.
I can't sit here and listen to that. A man can't be a woman, but a snake can talk. You know the enormous difference? We have science to back up. I don't know what the word is, but the claims of our trans family members.
Oh, 100%.
We have treatments. You know what? Please go fuck yourself. I trained 2 shrinks who actually write letters to say that this person sitting in front of me is trans. Here is my letter of recommendation.
Wow.
The path that these 2 people put our trans family members on, it's transformative. In some cases, it's life-saving. We have science to back trans. What we don't have science for is a magical apple that put a curse on the world.
100%.
I can't say it. All the while I'm saying it to my 22,000 followers.
Exactly.
Christians, if you actually felt persecution, you would not last 5 seconds.
Unfortunately, not only can he say it, he can get paid to say it.
He can get paid to say it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Everything about it.
They got the power cause you only go with it, ayy. Get your kids out of school. Yeah, they getting taught by some fools. Yeah, I ain't woke yet, I see the gender. They turning Glenn into Glenda. Ayy, they pushing big up on the TikTok. Ayy, not a gay woo, big shock. Trying to censor those who's exposing them. Say you bigoted and stoning them. Nah,
Pause the tape.
No mistakes.
Pause the tape. Do you want to know why we call them bigoted?
Because they're bigoted. This is hate speech. I don't know how he doesn't get banned for hate speech.
When the Klansman sits up there and drops N-words talking about where my place is on the tree, that I should sit on the back of all that crap, and I say you're a fucking bigot, it's because you're a fucking bigot.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to be called a transphobe, stop saying transphobic shit. Stop putting out transphobic videos. I would say, I don't know why this is so hard, but I do. So desperate to be right. Now you're going to put out this transphobic shit. This is the stuff that gets our trans family members hurt.
Absolutely.
And when I told him that, he mocked it. He mocked it. He actually said that Christians were the ones being persecuted, while our trans family members were the ones in control. And again, this is why, and I hit someone up over DM because Chris was doing what he does. I don't interact with him. The only way I'll interact with Chris, if he comes on my channel, this channel, we're going to go for it.
Sure.
Because social media favors the dishonest.
Absolutely. You getting banned, you don't rock with the trans.
Yeah. Again, he's sitting there saying, I can't say this while saying it. He's sitting there saying transphobic shit while complaining about being called a transphobe. I don't know what to say to this. This is why I don't interact with him. If I walk in and my girl is fucking somebody else, and I'm like, what are you doing? That's kind of a rhetorical question. I'm looking right at it.
Right.
And like, I'm checking your oil in his car to see if he can get home safely. Like, his dick is in your vagina. And last time I checked, that dick is not attached to my groin. I know what I saw.
Right.
So when I say, you're cheating on me, why'd you call me a cheater? Dick, vagina, except not my dick. See how that works?
Right.
Why'd you call me a transphobe? Look at this video. I don't know what else to say to this. This is hate.
100%.
This is hate.
100%.
Fuck
here we go. I got one more for you after this. It's actually kind of funny.
On social media, it came out from academia. I'm turning off the news, cause they got you all confused. Wanna know what's killing me? Pushing all this madness to the kids willingly, and they just want me quiet. They just want me silent. Nah, bruh, ideologically I'm starting riots, eating all they bias, all them fake pious, and they don't care about them experimenting with their science. Yo, it's quite sick.
I can't listen to this crap.
And
you can edit this one.
And the tape. But quickly, I just want to touch on it. He was explicitly saying, pull your kids out of school. Yeah. Turn off the news. I'm ideologically starting riots. They want your kids. I want the smoke. Like, this is the bomb. I mean, weaponized is like an understatement.
But again, and guess what, Christian parents? You're absolutely right. Trans people, they're teaching your kids the ABCs. Gay people are teaching your kids in public schools. And just like when I grew up, when Bundy grew up, yeah, sometimes they're going to have a picture of them and their significant other on their table. That's the way the shit works. You know what this sounds like, fuck faces? The 50s. Why is a nigger trying to teach my children?
Right.
Your kids are just being exposed to a life that's not theirs. I can all but guarantee not a single trans teacher is saying you have to be trans. When your kid asks, okay, when I go home, I've got a mommy and a daddy. There's a picture of you holding hands. I see a daddy and a daddy. I see a picture of a mommy and a mommy. What? Oh, I'm gay, Johnny. That's my husband, David. Well, I only thought boys could marry girls. That's not true. The love I have for my husband is just as valid as a husband. It's okay. Well, I don't know what transgender means, Mr. Johnson. I was assigned female at birth. That's not who I am on the inside, Johnny. So I made the transition. So my insides match my outsides. I'm a whole person now. Now, would you like to talk about social studies? There's no grooming. There's no grooming. Your kids are being exposed to real life. But let me tell you something, Christians. He's partially right. Pull your fucking kids out of school. They don't have to learn about transgender people, gay people. They can sit there and learn that the earth is 6,000 years old. That is fine. You know what I'm going to teach my kids? Make sure you teach the pizza delivery guy very well. We're going to leave your kids behind.
Absolutely.
The world is going to change.
This change is happening. This is going to happen. I love it. Right. I love that. This change is going to happen.
Everyone else is way the fuck up here. Like I said when I first met Chris, you are going to be that person that we talk about during family reunions.
Right.
Look, see, I'm sorry. We only see my uncle once a year. He's going to say some real fucked up shit.
Right. You just
and then when I take my girlfriend, who just so happens to be of Asian descent, back, right? And Mom's like, no, the fucking goose. And right. And we're like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're going to leave you behind. And while you're sitting here saying tranny, it, he, she, when you're rapping along, grooming
all the kids.
We can't stop you, but we're going to leave you behind. This 100%. Change is going to happen. This video was hate. You're right. 100%. I did not think it could get any worse.
It got worse. It got worse. So the other thing is and he like you said, he led with they're gonna call this some hate speech. I'm gonna get banned. Oh, yeah. It's almost like they're daring people to censor them so that they can then be persecuted, in their religion and in their free speech advocacy.
Persecution. Where was the law that said that Christians are now allowed to get married? Where was the law that said Christians are now allowed to serve openly in the United States military, to adopt?
Absolutely. The rest of us had to be written in later.
Right. Emotional Munchausen syndrome. All the attention that comes with having a disease, but they don't want to carry the burden of actually having the damn disease. This is just garbage.
100%.
Okay. You got one more for me so I can start throwing up?
Yep. This one I think is actually kind of fun.
Oh, God.
This was funny. You're going to love this one. Oh, man.
Man, I love this song. Yeah. It's time to expose and talk about critical race theory and BMO. Cause it's been having me so weary. I used to have friends with those that on the same foundation.
Well, Pastor's really been getting on us about social justice issue. Just don't know what to do. If only there was a way to show my repentance. A black man! Yes, thank you! Pastor, I'm gonna text you. Come on, he's coming!
The time has come. Cheers,
the black
Jake.
Experience.
Get your drink on.
Yeah. How are you today?
Whoa, take it easy, big fella. But wonderful weather we're having here in America, huh? How are you doing?
Yeah, how do you feel now that racist, white supremacist, bigoted President Donald Trump is out of office? How's it going?
Well, see, actually, I was quite saddened because, let's look at the facts. Trump actually helped the black community. More jobs were provided to black community more than any other president.
So he's also a trash pan.
Oh,
Let me tell you something.
This is his trash pan anthem, baby.
We aren't going to get very far into this. Let me tell you something. First and foremost, the Trump black unemployment thing. Stop. So, in case you guys are not aware, what they say is true. ... Black employment, they're right, was never lower until Donald Trump got in office. What they don't tell you is just because one president gets out of office doesn't mean all their accomplishments just stop. It was, God, we were close to 11, maybe 12% black unemployment. When Barack Obama got out of office, it got down to the 7s. By the time Donald Trump was able to tout 6%-ish black unemployment, it's not because of anything he did. It was the trickle effect from the Barack Obama presidency. Please go fuck yourself. The second thing, this whole get on your knees and apologize for being white, again, that is a trash panda talking point. No black person worth their blackness is saying you need to apologize for being white. That's not the case.
Right.
It is recognizing the fucking privilege. So when you fix your fucking mouth, like I've been told by white dudes who sat there with keys handed to them to an already successful business. Robert, no one gave me anything. I just worked hard. I've given you guys my timeline. And I'll only go one generation back. I made all American and I graduated from a school that literally told my dad, no niggers allowed. My dad is borderline genius. That's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
He was just as good of an athlete, 5 million times smarter, couldn't get into UT. So when you sit here and you tell me from your gated fucking community, I just worked for what I got. No, you didn't.
Absolutely.
No, you did not. You can't line up at the 80-meter mark, run 20 yards and say, I kicked your ass in the 100-meter dash. Right. I was lined up behind.
Right.
No one is saying apologize for an immutable characteristic. Being gay is an immutable characteristic. Being trans is an immutable characteristic. Your skin tone, you can't help that. No one's saying, be sorry that you're white. But when you sit here, and I'm talking white in general, hang the fucking asterisk.
Right.
Well, I just worked for mine. I worked hard. No, you didn't. No, you did not. So again, he's a trash panda now, as well as being a Christian apologist.
Absolutely.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
I've seen people die in front of my face.
Uncle Bobby.
No exaggeration. This is worse.
Uncle Bobby, we putting in work today, babe.
Yeah, we are. And we're not getting paid for it.
You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, let's talk about Biden's racist comments he said about the black community. I mean, and then not to bring up, I mean, any Christian with any kind of hermeneutical exegesis and anything like that would know quite plainly the things that Biden supports, any Christian cannot support. I mean, let's just look at the facts.
I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Wait till you hear the hook of this song.
You're not even black. I'm out of here.
What about my black experience?
I am black.
Alright, y'all, see if you can learn the words to this hook, y'all. See if you can remember it. It's
I'm black, yeah, 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 I'm black, and just in case you didn't know, boy, I might wear a MAGA hat, I might give Trump that, I am not Democrat, nah, just because I'm black, we are not all the same, I don't have to think this.
First and foremost, I just saw in the side chat, fellow Army, go Army. But again, now I know, and I'm not going to doubt his claim that he's a Christian. I'm not. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that you're a Christian and you back Donald Trump, again, I now know what your Jesus would do. If you, black, white, Mexican, Asian, Christian, Muslim, atheist, if you support Donald Trump, fuck you.
Pretty
I say that without apology.
Pretty simple.
That is the ugliest human to ever sit behind the Resolute desk. 100%. And if you can make it, no wonder Chris called a total stranger, me, to put me on his show and treat me like yesterday's newspaper. You support Donald Trump. Like my grandmother always said, when you lay down with dogs, your monkey ass gets up with fleas,
baby.
Every time. Every single time. And so when racist white people want to feel good about themselves, and here's the thing though, gang, the bar for racism is low.
That's shit.
Congratulations, you didn't call a Mexican person a wetback. You didn't call an Asian person a chink, a black person a nigger. And that's what you call not racist. Right? When you, I've always said about the trash pandas, if I hand you a transcript and you read it, and I say, did a black person say that, or did a Ku Klux Klan member say it? You're like, please, the Klans member said it. You're wrong. That's how you know you're talking about a damn trash panda.
That test works every time. Especially with this. This is it. All right, I'm gonna roll this tape, see how much you can get through.
Yeah, cause I got my own brain. Yeah, might rock a Trump chain. Yeah, head
Pause the tape. We're not gonna make it. Again, I got my own brain. That's like, and I've had people say, what, a black person can't be a free thinker? Apparently, the definition of free thinker
is a
black person. Yeah, that fucking parrot white supremacist talking points.
Absolutely.
Again, I'm not good. To this day, I am not sure I can call Donald Trump a racist because racism is hatred, and hatred is a form of caring. Donald Trump does not care about anyone but himself. And I said this like in season 2. Donald Trump would throw his own kids under the bus if it served him the best. When people are like, what, you took pictures of Mike with Michael Jackson and all this other stuff. Yeah, because there were black people that could give him notoriety.
Yep.
Sometimes you can do good things for fucked up reasons. Like when Kim Kardashian got that black lady out of jail and Trump sat there and took pictures. If that would not have given him any dap, he wouldn't have done it. Right. Just like when you sit there and you find out that his condos or his apartments, like in New York, they would have the letter C stamped on some of the applications. You know what the color C stood for? Colored. His family has been Donald Trump has been successfully sued for housing discrimination.
Really?
The only time he sucks up to black people is when they can do him some good.
I didn't know that.
Racist.
He actually
looked that shit up.
Profiled the application.
That shit up. I'm not even making that up. He can't be racist, Uncle Bobby. He likes diamond and silk.
Well,
he can't be racist. He's got Terrence K. Williams. He collects people that can do him a favor. Black, white supreme, it doesn't matter. If you are willing to, Nick Fuentes.
Right.
Nick Fuentes was willing to jerk Donald Trump off. So he sat down and he had lunch with a known white supremacist with a Mexican ass last name.
Right. Now.
So again, he is a trash panda on top of everything else.
On top of everything else.
Yep, Paulie B. He and his father were sued. Absolutely right.
Damn, somehow it never got media coverage. Shit, I want to cover that shit. All right, let's roll this tape. Damn,
TRT is a joke, and if you disagree, yeah, I want all the smoke. All white on racist, everything's not racist. It's sad I have to say this. Put this on your playlist. I hate abortion. It's killing.
So, false. Trump was not sued. His company was sued. Trump's managers were the ones. Okay, let me tell you something about that. It's like being a head coach. At the end of the day, when your team gets started, when TCU got their ass handed to in the national championship game, Coach Dykes doesn't get to say, that was the offensive coordinator's fault. That was the linebacker's fault. The linebacker's coach's fault. At the end of the day, it's you.
Your organization.
So you want to sit here and tell me, that's fine. That's fine. His managers, the Blase and the Glavinoids. You're the head coach of Trump Incorporated. I'm really rich. You've got no idea how rich I am. I make all these. You get all the credit, just like your monkey ass takes all the blame.
Absolutely.
Your name is on the banner. So that means all the decisions, they land on your desk. So no, yeah, okay, fine. It was his managers. Trump was never linked to it.
That's the story of Donald Trump.
But at the end of the day,
it sounds like a Donald Trump apologetic.
It is Trump Incorporated. It is Trump Incorporated. That means you hired some racist ass managers.
Yeah.
So again,
no, it's just it's probably a Trump simp. Somebody who never speaks up until it's time to defend the dear leader.
Baby slack, Margaret, singers, dream is crazy. I love my country, no, I'm not a white supremacist. I love my wife, she love me, so glad she not a feminist. I'm black.
That's how he thinks about his life, by the way.
No, boy, I'm black. And just in case you didn't know, they don't promote black conservatives. They'll accept with a preservative. They claim they want diversity, now they just want the alternatives. I don't like hot sauce, I'm still black, but the movies are straight whack. They gon' want me hang for that. I tell them run it back. They gon' call me Uncle Tom.
Did he just say I don't like hot sauce, I'm still black? Nah, nigga, he ain't black. I don't care. I'll pull this card. He not. Yeah, that's some horse shit right there.
Let me tell you something. There's 3 bottles of hot sauce and 2 containers of Tony's right now.
Yeah,
but this one,
I think I have more hot sauces than friends.
But again, I'm an independent, and I've said it before. Most of my black friends, they're Republicans. There's a difference, though, in this day and age between a Republican and a conservative / Trumplican. And yes, stereotypically speaking, blacks vote Democrat.
Right.
And a word to the Democrats, you need to earn the black vote. I have voted for Republicans before. I will vote for Republicans in the future if I think they will do the most amount of good for the most amount of people. But this is Coonan. You can't tell me that you're a Trump supporter and then expect an invitation to the cookout.
Exactly.
This is why we have trouble moving forward. People like you and me say X, Y, and Z. People like this say A, B, C. And the white supremacists, they listen to what he says. And then when we say, that was some racist ass shit, I can't be racist, Chris said it. So again, this is garbage. The last 2 videos, this is hate.
Yep.
This is hate.
They gon' call me coon, but I'm still staying calm.
Yes, we are. Yes, we're definitely gonna call you coon.
You a straight whack for that. And to those who agree, black ain't no ideology. I hate slavery. I hate segregation. Love being black.
I was gonna say he understands that that's not an ideology, but he couldn't get that with atheism.
I hate slavery. I told that man that my grandfather was murdered by the Ku Klux Klan. They beat my grandfather in the back of the head until he was dead because He lynched black people down from trees. You know what Chris said? So what? He said it didn't affect me.
That your grandfather was murdered?
My grandfather was murdered. My grandfather used to lynch black people down from trees. He took my dad, who was like 10 years old at the time. So the Ku Klux Klan beat him till he was dead. I told Chris that when he said slavery didn't affect you. My great-grandfather was actually a slave, legally. My grandfather was a slave, name only. I told him about my grandfather. I told him that slavery affected me. When I told him that my grandfather was beaten, he said, so what? He said, slavery didn't affect you. And now this coon is sitting up here talking.
He hates slavery, but he loves his biblical God.
I just sat there and told this fuckface what happened to my family. But because I can't say it's objectively wrong, he literally said, so what? It doesn't affect you. I can't take much more of this dude. I'm not gonna lie. He is ugly.
This is it.
This is an ugly human being.
A terrible
collaboration. We are not all the same. Don't have to think the same. Cause I got my own brain. My rock a Trump, yeah. Heck no, I ain't woke.
And he doesn't say anything.
And if we disagree, bring her here, I want all the smoke. All whites aren't racist. Nope. Everything's not racist. It's sad I have to say this, but put this on your playlist. I hate abortion. It's killing babies, barking, singers, dream, crazy. I love my country. No, I'm not a white supremacist. I love my wife, she love me. So glad she not a feminist. I'm black.
All right, that's it. But so the thing that kills me about this too, because we were wondering about the thing he proposed to his wife, right? Again, but like all the tips that he's on, like I'm so glad my wife's not a feminist. Like I don't know if they know how cringe that sounds. It's like I'm glad my wife's not one of those women that thinks women should be equal. That's what I hear, right? I'm so glad my wife is not one of those crazy women that thinks women should be equal. Like what?
Jesus Christ.
And to your point, this was like an education for us, right? Because I think for most of us, we had heard you mention Chris's name before, I think in reference to maybe your social media interactions.
Yeah.
And then I think when you sat down with him, that was the first time that I saw him and then made the connection to like, oh, that's who Chris is.
Oh, yeah.
And then, we started looking at his stuff after that, mostly just because we were trying to play hero support. Like we gotta come after this guy now because he think Uncle Bobby don't got no goddamn support system out here, So, but when I started, watching his stuff and then finding this music and playing these music videos, it blew my mind, right? Like it was a whole different level. You're like, it's like you said, just hate. He's just a hateful person, and he's making all his content around all of the most hateful culture war talking points. And there's what's about other than the culture war talking points, like
you know the fucked up thing. I was gonna go in on Chris on future shows, and I probably still will. I'm done.
What do you do now, right? It's like, what do you?
Well, it's how do you call someone ugly? But I just sat here and watched all these music videos where he said, I'm the ugliest piece of shit. How do you insult somebody like that? I just heard a black man say, I don't like slavery. All the while, he sat in front of someone who was directly affected and literally said, so what? I sat there and I listened to a man talk about abortion and then turn right around and say, everyone who doesn't think like me, you're going to get fucked up.
Right.
Chris is an ugly, hate-filled individual.
Yeah, pro-life,
and I'll put him on the same. Yeah, I put him on the same vein as Joseph Abraham, a Christian that I had interaction with, and it shortened my lifespan. Everything I just heard was ugly.
Yeah.
Period.
It was interesting.
I was just ugly. I'm done with them.
I was listening to one of your shows, and I think maybe somebody in the side chat, or when you were talking to Peter, somebody brought up his music, and you said you hadn't heard it before. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna put it together for you, have you run through it. But yeah, right. It changes things. It really changes how you see him, right? Like it's like a whole nother level that I didn't realize he was. And it takes a lot of work, right? This isn't like something he's, made a couple jokes or rude comments about. This is stuff it's like his vision, right? Like
that's his life. That's his life.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I can't fuck with him. Not anymore.
The other
like I said, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't understand. It's really tough because I feel like for instance, Derek had a stream. Mythvision podcast had a stream yesterday where they were debating whether or not the Bible endorses slavery, and there's people sitting there trying to tell you it doesn't, and then you got people like Chris, and then you got people trying to tell you, oh, the Bible's cool. Like, it really does bother me, because the one thing I will say I appreciate about Chris is that I think he represents the heart and spirit of Christianity. And it gets frustrating to me when these more liberal, softy type Christians want to argue that, the Bible's all good, Jesus loves everybody, oh, my view of the world is so welcoming. And I'm sitting there like, are you going to sit here and talk to us like people like Chris don't exist? And furthermore, aren't basing it, you know what I mean, on the core of the cult. It's very infuriating to me.
Oh, I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, again, I've said before, if you show me the Christian, I will show you their Jesus. And for every Christian that helps a little old lady across the street, there's an asshole like Chris. And again, since Jesus won't come down here and settle this debate, I can only judge your Jesus based on this shit that I see. And if you go back and watch that in police interrogation, Chris is a Christian. And he's the one who got it right. So I'm done with him. I'm glad we did this show because I needed to see that. Because it's Chris needs to go. He's just a gross person.
Yeah, he is.
There was and how fitting, I gotta throw this in here real fast.
You're good.
When during the off season, you were allowed to work. It's the only time an NCAA athlete was allowed to work. How fitting that I worked at a mental hospital. But I was in the rec department, and there was a pool at the facility, and you had to go through the water training, and one of the moves is called the Superman. So if someone's drowning, you go out, you try and grab them. Some people, they just don't want to be saved. It's a natural instinct sometimes. And their only job is to take two of you down versus just them. It's called the Superman. And you ball yourself up and you try to get in between and you push as hard as you can. You push them deeper into the water while you push yourself to safety. Some people, they just want to drown. It's an ugly truth, but It's better one of you go home versus two of you going to the morgue.
So you're saying if you're drowning,
if you try to save somebody,
right?
Some people's natural instinct is just to panic. And they're going to take on you and they're going to drag you down.
Right.
They're trying to, whether they realize it or not,
right.
They're trying to drown themselves
with
and you.
Right, yeah.
It's called the Superman. You ball yourself up and you push that person into deeper water,
right.
Or you push yourself to safety. That person is going to drown. That's how I feel about Chris. After listening to his stance on vaccination, abortion, being a Trump supporter, like I said, I had shows lined up where I was going to go in on Chris for what he did. Now, I'm pushing myself away.
Damn.
I cannot be linked to someone. Again, any movement has its extremes, but I've never understood why a white woman, I apologize everybody, why a woman would say, I'm not a feminist. Why a black person, right. Yes, I'm very well aware that Patrice Cullors has done some shady shit, but why a black person would not get behind the foundational principle of Black Lives Matter?
Right.
I can't. Chris is toxic.
I'm
giving him the Superman.
Yeah, I appreciate that. What do you think? Are they looking for bad? I have this real feeling with a lot of right wingers, even some of the people, come through the chat once in a while. I just got to get rid of them because I just feel like they're looking for bad people. They're looking to find a way to defend bad people, take bad stances. Like I don't know. Like Chris seems to enjoy playing the heel within Christianity, even, right? Like he thrives. I want this. I want all the smoke. Bring it in, and like it's just strange. There's something else going on there.
But there's sometimes being the bad guy works. Like my college head coach, it's about my junior year because they fired David McWilliams. David McWilliams was truly what we call a Texas guy. So they hired John Malkovich. He was not a Texas guy. And it just got to a point to where he realized we didn't like him. We didn't even respect him. But I did respect this one move where John Malkovich made himself the heel. And it was the one thing that everyone on the team could agree on, and that was our hatred of John Malkovich. And we had to decide what's more important, our hatred of John Malkovich or the success of this team. Sometimes being the heel works.
Right.
In Chris's case, no, because that was just ugly. Everything that man said was just ugly.
100%.
And I'm done with him. I'm done.
100%.
I'm done. I'm glad. Thank you for exposing me to this bullshit, because now I am done.
I appreciate you. Thanks, and like I said, thanks for putting us on to Chris. I didn't know who he was until you made us aware of him, and then we found this stuff, and it's definitely been a fun episode to get through all this stuff.
I am glad.
So my One Black Friends here. I think we'll get ready to start Hot Program. Are you watching?
You guys do that?
You watching the games later?
I'm watching the Dolphins right now. I will have that on mute. And as always, I just listen to the show while I'm doing my stuff and watching football.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it. So, guys, we'll be over on Pocket Locker 86 for Hot Program, also on the Hot Program channel and my One Black Friends channel. But I'll close out the blackout, and I'll take Uncle Bobby's channels off so they're not. But Uncle Bobby, if you want, we'll be at the Bundy Ranch probably tonight, tomorrow night, watching the games if you want to hang out. And then we'll chit-chat about when to do the movie nights.
Is Friday doable for you?
For movies?
During the week is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
I get to work at 6 a.m. So Friday, I don't have shit to do but Shinola. So if we can find a Christian persecution film to review,
perfect.
Friday's
okay, let's do that. Let's plan on do that Friday. All right, that sounds great. Yeah, we'll do that in this one on Friday. All right, Uncle Bobby, thanks so much for doing this with us. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week. In the name of the Darwin, the Dawkins, and the Christopher Hitchens, science bless you all. Poof.
Take it easy.
Just gotta focus on yourself out here, y'all. Don't pay too much to the competition. Don't worry about what other people doing. Gotta trust your process. Worry about yourself, like I'm saying, man. It's bigger than me, bigger than you. You know what I mean? If you know what you gotta do, then do it. You're always making excuses, we ain't got time for no excuses. You gotta get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't about that negativity, suggestions. Fuck all that shit, my nigga. Yeah.
No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. You niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. And you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. Yeah. Still watching for clones, but they all over the globe. Probably why I say whoa. Young nigga never made money from stoves, but went hard with the zones. Me and Henny broke it down way before. Now we killing shows, just act like you know. Whoa. Got a new bitch from the bottom. Still never change how my niggas from potters. Honest, I've been feeling golly. You get in my way, then you leave me no option. Niggas thinking this a race, till we put them in their place. Leave their family with a ghost, then we pull off in a race. Competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you.
It's no competition. You niggas be lying about how you be feeling, saying you Jordan, you not even Pippin. Or Rodman when he was with Pistons. You blondie, you lying about all of your visions. Your paper be short like some midgets. I used to step out and just worry about digits, and now I just focus my vision.